This is Wrestling Republic. Wrestling Republic. This is Wrestling Republic. Wrestling Republic. This is Wrestling Republic. Wrestling Republic. This is Wrestling Republic.
What is going on, everybody? We are back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. It is Friday, April 25th. I'm stoked to get into it. I'm stoked to still be here. Well, maybe not be here. Been in Las Vegas for far too long, but neither here nor there. Also broken a giant streak here at Wrestling Republic on daily broadcast. This is my first seated episode. There's just not a counter tall enough in the room we're currently staying in. But at the same time, we will make it work. Let me introduce my friends to you, though. We've got an awesome episode coming up for you out of the gates here in the DMV. It's not Tuesday night, but get your twos up for the Tuesday night delight. Shotty, what's going on, my friend?
What's going on, bro? All is well here. First and foremost, I got to give a shout out to my newest Philadelphia Eagle, Jihad Campbell from Roll Tide, Alabama University. Welcome to the Super Bowl champs. We're excited to see what you do for us next year. And Howie we trust and Fangio we trust. But yeah, man, let's talk about some wrestling. And also before we do that, shout out to my dog, I Make Beats. I saw him in the comments from my boy SP3's pod. So I'm glad he's tuning in. I told him, yo, I'm going to be on at 3. Make sure you pop out. And he popped out, so he a man of his word.
Monster shout out, I Make Beats, as always. I mean, he even seated Clark is wild. I know. It's totally, honestly, it's uncomfortable for me. I don't even know. Seated Clark, no mic. Totally different deal, but we'll get through it together. Up next, though, I've got one more. This is like a makeshift old school Tuesday crew, and I love it. But happy Friday all the way across the pond. Mr. In the Bank himself. Jordy in the Bank, what's going on?
Yo, how is everyone? It's Friday, and you're right. Back on the show with Shad. I feel like Clark, me and you do a few Tuesdays together now. And to be fair, Shad and I we did a pretty much a 4-hour stream. Although Shad kind of called it in and only did 3 hours of that stream, but we were there for Mania Night 2, and it's great to be here. And I always say I like doing Fridays because I'm usually here to do the review shows, like a Tuesday or a Saturday to review Raw and SmackDown. Friday, I just kind of get to chop it up and just kind of talk a little bit about wrestling, which is a little bit of a change of pace, and I like it. So good to be here.
It's one of my favorite shows of the week, right? You get that Wednesday Newsday show and this one where we get to kind of just talk about the topics we may have missed throughout the week. I couldn't be in more agreement, Jordy. But where I'm not sure we'll agree. Wait a minute. Anthony Manzano said, "Where's Ben?" Probably at home. I don't know.
Bro, why are you so concerned?
Yeah.
Why are you so concerned where Ben is? You know, there's other people on the podcast that rotate through the week.
He is not in Las Vegas is the answer. That's just me. Also, we got Sean Ellis with Happy Aloha Friday.
My boy. What's good, Sean?
No doubt. Okay. Let's start. Oh, wait. I didn't even read Fernando Zayas. He's already in here. Happy SmackDown Friday, WR crew, and predicting Mania for next year is going to be lots of fun. Man, do I agree. Let's get right into that. You see the guy with the spinner belt on his shoulder up in the corner. I'm not sure it'll be that one defended by next year because the man holding the current title looks like he's taking it home. He's taking his ball and he's going home. Not sure he's going to be involved. That one, that's him. John Cena. Not sure he's going to be involved in next year's Mania, considering he's told us he's not. But, I mean, you never know in professional wrestling. Jordy, though, if you're predicting night 2 of WrestleMania 42, what do you got? And if you want to throw in a little alley-oop for night 1, let's dabble.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to throw in an alley-oop for night 1 because I'm all about it. And it is a main event. Now, despite what I said about celebrating CM Punk getting the main event of night 1 and it not being a real one, it kind of is. And shout out quickly, this isn't my prediction, but Roundhead, if Dom does win both world titles, then I'm all for it. But that is not my prediction. My prediction for night 1 is kind of a fallout of night 1 of this year's WrestleMania. To be honest, it's actually what was written on the board for this year's WrestleMania from that screen grab that's been taken from the trailer of the new WWE show. So I'm saying Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair is gonna be the main event of night one, and it damn should be. Them, in all fairness, them three should have had the main event this year, and they absolutely killed it. Absolutely killed it. And it's a shame they didn't get the main event. But I really do think that Rhea and Bianca, I think that WWE look at them as they kind of the two big names. When you look at kind of that 2K cover a couple of years ago, it looked like a graphic for a main event that we've not seen yet of WrestleMania. So I do think we're going to get that down the line. And following on, another fallout from a main event of this year is Rollins versus Roman Reigns. I think throughout this whole year, throughout this whole 12 months, not constantly, but I think we will see them slowly intertwine at points. I don't know who's going to be on the chase. Looking at it, you would think Roman, whether he wins the Rumble or wins the Chamber, but Rollins and Reigns are this generation's Stone Cold and The Rock, as far as I'm concerned. When you look at them two people, you want them both in the main event. And right now, I'm even saying it, I don't know who I want to win, because the amount of love and respect I have for these two gentlemen and what they've done for WWE is kind of insurmountable, both in such different ways as well, which is, I think, why the feud is so good. And I would even say, to be honest, they surpass what Rock and Stone Cold had, because although that rivalry was incredible, their careers didn't intertwine over the span of a decade plus like the way Rollins and Reigns have. Roman said in an interview that kind of after this contract, he'll maybe have a couple of years left. So don't know how long they've got to tell that story and really make it the main event again of Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. Right now, the way things are going, I think they have that opportunity. So I would look at cashing that in personally.
I really do like that. Was gonna pick that. Definitely not now. Shad, are you ready?
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Would you like me to go next?
You know what? I'm ready. I got some ideas. Obviously, this is a pretty cool exercise to go upon. We just finished Mania 41, so thinking about what can be done in a whole year span is exciting. And I'm a trend follower. I like to see where we are right now in the projection and where it can be towards the end of the year. And I think one thing that was definitely evident from this past Mania that they can learn is workhorses matter. Youth matters. We need to build the stars for tomorrow. And first match on the docket is completely just off of projection. This wrestler isn't even on the main roster yet, but I can believe that she has the ability and star power, because the glimpse of what I saw her have on Monday Night Raw makes me think that not only will she be on the main roster, but I think she will win the Royal Rumble, and I think she will be fighting a champion at WrestleMania, main eventing. Who the champion will be, I'm going to go ahead and predict it will be Rhea Ripley. I think she will be holding the title and be our women's champion. Who her competition will be, no other than La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer. Stephanie Vaquer versus Rhea Ripley, night one, main event. Book it, signed, sealed, delivered, in the words of Stevie Wonder. Stephanie Vaquer is, I'm yours, right?
Sorry, that's my bad.
She to me is the epitome of what that next top star is going to be. And I think what she has been as a champion on NXT has been nothing short but excellent. I think once you get her onto the main roster, the star power, the captivity that she holds, that's someone that you could really sink your teeth in. Going against Rhea Ripley, that is an aura off. Those are two women with absolute aura, and I think it could be a big-time match. So, yes, I'm going to pick a women's match for night one because, damn it, they screwed up this year not having a women's match main event. But anyways, that's night one. Night two, I'm going to go off of projection again, man, because I'm liking what I am seeing right now. And everyone talks about this being the new evolution. Well, yes, Paul Heyman, Braun Baker, and Seth Rollins are pretty much whatever this new evolution. But Braun Breaker is the Batista, and Seth Rollins is the Triple H. So thumbs up, thumbs down. Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, night 2 main event. I think this storyline has a lot of fire that's going to pick a lot of steam. I think this is going to be a new life for Seth Rollins being one of the faces of the WWE. And I think Braun Breaker is right behind him. I got Braun Breaker winning the Rumble. I got Braun Breaker beating Roman Reigns in the pay-per-view on the build-up to it, becoming that dude. And then Heyman doing what he does, turns, and we get this main event. Those are my 2 matches. Will they be wrong? Who knows? Probably. But damn it, I'm speaking them into existence.
I do love the Stephanie Vaquer Ripley pick is sublime. I mean, I like both choices for sure, but I also do want to apologize. I totally thought I was muted when I did the Stevie Wonder thing, and I was like, oh no. Well,
it's all good. It's a good.
I was like, I didn't even really sing it. I just.
I think Shad, what you might have done there personally is predicted Mania 43 main event.
That is not a bad call either.
That's what I reckon. I did because them stories, they need to be told, bro. They do need to be told.
The thing is this. Well, I riddle you this. How long did we have stories told for this past Mania? A lot of it was kind of built hyper, quickly, right?
Very quickly.
So to me, my projection is that I have confidence that Braun Breaker and Stephanie will be main event level by the time next year. And a Rumble win can set that up. So
100%. I mean, I love the Rumble, but let me get my picks in here, guys. I've got some really interesting. We got our first 2-night SummerSlam this year. So I think that Roman Seth match happens night 2 of that event. We weren't predicting this one in that segment, but there's a little nugget for you guys for free. Night 1 of WrestleMania, I'm going to go with a legendary match, and I do think it will be arguably the final time because I think she's starting to kind of wind down and get more into the being a mom and family type things. But I'm going to go with Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, night 1 for Mania next year. Now, night 2, this is where it gets interesting because I've changed my pick 7 times, I think, since you guys both talked. I'm going to go with the 7th one, which is, can we please do this so it's not like Mayweather-Pacquiao? Can we please do this before they're both in a retirement home? Can we please make the match happen that we've whispered about for like 4 years in a row and get Rock Roman somehow?
Mm-hmm.
Can we just finally pull the trigger and get Rock Roman? Because we're going to run out of time if we don't. And it'd be like Mayweather-Pacquiao never happening. It'd be like Tyson and it'd be like Tyson and Holyfield never happening. It isn't right if we don't do this match. And I absolutely think it's got to be the main event. There are so many other names I'm seeing like Obafemi and Gunther in the comments and whatnot. But for me, there's never been a better time. New Orleans, you can really fill that building. It's a heck of a lot bigger than Allegiant, even though I enjoyed Allegiant Stadium immensely this week. It's a heck of a lot bigger. If you're going to fill a stadium for a show, Rock Roman, put it on the marquee. Let's get it done this time. That's my call. What do you guys think?
I think it is time.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I think it is time. I think as fans, we are due that match. I mean, they've teased it for the longest haul, and we haven't gotten it. Part of it makes me feel like it could happen because I think fans are starting to get on the Rock's ass again about kind of being, full of BS with his with his words and whatnot. And I mean, honestly, that is definitely one of those last like big box office matches that they can do. So I mean, I would love it personally. It really just depends on what the Rock's schedule is. I also like the idea of I was looking it up just to see if it fell, but it didn't. I was looking when John Moxley contract was up because I was thinking of a Shield triple threat, obviously, just because everything with Seth, and Seth is so good at not forgetting to name Mox in the storylines. Like he doesn't care if he like that. He's like, no, that man is an integral part of me and Roman's storyline. He has to be named at all times. That would have been interesting. Ambrose, Moxley, Seth, and Roman for the one time, but 2027, I gotta wait a couple years for that. So
Yeah, we'll have to wait on that one, no doubt about it. We've got a few more comments and then I'll move on. Fernando Zayas said Cody versus Rock has more story for Mania than Rock versus Roman. I think Cody's going to take so much time off this year, though, that you have time to tell the Rock Roman story, which on television, yes, there's been more story told as far as Cody's concerned. But given the family history and everything there, I don't think it's that difficult to get to a place where Rock Roman has an equal story.
Trouble is, Dwayne's making a Scorsese film.
Yeah, it's true.
Which I'm not even kind of. If you want to be an actor and that opportunity comes up, as much as I hate the fact he wasn't at Mania and he shouldn't have teased the fact he was going to be, you do not pass an opportunity to work with Martin Scorsese up. So I do understand, but you come on now. He's already kind of hinted that he's going to be there by saying that he's going to have hush puppies and stuff with Dave LaGreca. And he announced it as well.
I love hush puppies. I explained that one earlier. They're great. They're great. A little jambalaya, a little gumbo, a couple hush puppies, maybe even some fried catfish if you're trying to really dabble. And then some beignets to end the night. Can't wait for New Orleans to see. When is that? Tomorrow? No, I'm kidding. But let's get into our next topic of the day. We've got Bayley, one of my favorites, one of the 4 horsewomen, an absolute pioneer. Since the Bayley Doe Straps run, I've been critical actually of what the work she did in Damage Control, and I understand, some people like that, and Sky obviously benefited greatly from Damage Control. Now, for me, I think it's kind of getting back to time for Bayley to shine, right? I don't know exactly how we get there, and so this is a difficult question. Should she leave the WWE? We all know about her very close friendship with Mercedes Moné. Bayley's a very creative in-ring wrestler, sort of taking the blinders off on some of the matches. You could probably see some really good stuff if she went elsewhere in some places. I'm not 100% sure, but I know somebody who is, and that's Shadi. What's going on?
So first and foremost, I have to give credit to Chris Van Fleet for being a phenomenal interviewer, giving us great interviews. And the interview with him and Bayley, to me, was one of the toughest watches that I've had watching one of his interviews, because the feeling, the sadness, the thought process that you're not as good as your counterparts that you came up with as a Charlotte Flair and a Becky Lynch, having your match pretty much stripped out of your hands on a pre-show for a storyline, so Becky Lynch can have her return, someone that is a fellow 4 horsewoman with you, so she can have a storyline with Lyra. It's utter disrespect. It's utter disrespect to Bayley. And Bayley is a model citizen, right? She's the role model, but she's a model citizen. She does everything they tell her to do. And there is countless times that WWE have spit in her face and disrespected her and not put her in the same breath as Charlotte, as Becky. And her other friend that you mentioned, Mercedes Moné, it was the same situation. And that is why Mercedes had to bet on herself. And it's why Mercedes left to do a run in Japan and eventually go in AEW. So the question is, should Bayley leave the WWE? 100%. Absolutely. Pam has the ability to have one of the most successful runs, just like Mercedes does, leaving WWE. The WWE is not the end-all, be-all. For what she's done, she's a Hall of Famer there. That is fine. But it comes to a place where, one, they have a very deep roster, and 2, it seems like they don't view her as the superstar that she is. Well, why don't you go ahead and be that superstar that you are? I'm looking at her potentially going to Stardom, working with a bunch of Yoshis. I'm thinking of Bayley running the Indies, right? Like, that would be super exciting with the talent that look up to her. And last but not least, Bayley in AEW, to me, is a missing puzzle piece for the AEW women's division. They have such a young roster with incredible wrestlers, but the only thing that is missing a little bit is a couple superstars. We got Tony, got Mercedes, you know. You add Bayley into the mix, the history with her and Mercedes being able to tear the house down, main eventing and All In at Wembley Stadium, the idea of her wrestling a Willow Nightingale, a Chris Statlander, all of this is so fresh and so new. And I think Bayley, to me, is just like Mercedes. She loves professional wrestling so much. And at the moment, WWE is not allowing her to have that love back, how they book her. I'm not fault. I know, like, a person to put it on themselves thinking they're not good enough when they do all that they need to do is BS. She does everything that she needs to do. It is completely on the company. Go ahead, set yourself free, get out of there, and just remind them. You know, you can always come back. You're young. Remind them, because they doing her dirty. I don't care that she beat EO last year. What happened after that? It was a horrible title reign. So
We somehow have two Jordys. Hang on.
I think one froze.
And we have a new Jordy. This is new Jordy. Let me introduce to the audience. New Jordy. He's back. No,
Sorry,
Shad, I
don't
am
know
in
what happened there.
100% agreement, especially you sold me on the AEW run, and here's why. I believe it was in the Thunderdome, but do correct me if I'm wrong. The Hell in a Cell match that Bayley and Sasha Banks put on
It was in the Thunderdome
was
era.
off the charts. Could you imagine a Mercedes Moné Bayley match in AEW with just the reins pulled back? Go paint a picture, whether it's like a Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker-esque borderline death match, steel cage, whatever stipulation you want to put on it, but tell a freaking 35-minute, 45-minute, hour-long story. Iron Woman match between the two. I mean, we've seen their history, obviously, in Brooklyn. Yeah. I love the idea of Bayley going to AEW. I know you don't, Sean Ellis. Respect. But I did like this comment from Roundhead. He said, I think she's borderline insufferable as a face. Like, such a goody two-shoes. Seems harsh, I know, but she needs a heel run. I do think that's fair. And, you know, you didn't sound that harsh because you're not saying completely insufferable, as in, like, all the time. It's just she needs a heel run.
You know what the issue is, though? People love her too much, right? So, and now that we have seen her hurt and we feel that she's being unjust, right. I think why would I root against her? Right? Like, right. I want to root for her even more. I do think her character as a babyface post like winning the title with EO. I mean, bro, she main evented and beat EO last year, and EO comes back around a year later, is a champion main eventing and winning. Like, EO won more than Bayley did after a loss last year than Bayley did winning and having her moment. Like, that says a lot with the booking of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 100% true. I mean, to me, the Four Horsewomen are so amazing, but it's weird. It feels like it was like such a short time that they were the face of the. Now we have people we've already talked about on this show, Bianca, Rhea, all these. The division is stacked, and that's where I think the AEW run aspect of what you brought up is key here.
I truthfully feel that WWE values and sees Charlotte and Becky in a brighter light than they do Mercedes and Bayley. Like, just off of the booking and how many times that they've kind of had to play the dance partner to make people look good and whatnot. I mean, dude, Bayley and Mercedes both are very key parts of why Bianca's success is Bianca's success. You know, Sasha and Bianca, one of that Mania moments. But Bayley was that first feud, right? That heel, and they had an incredible Hell in a Cell match too.
Speaking of,
exactly.
While we're up, no doubt about it. Okay, wait. Speaking of no doubt about it, let me really quickly tell you guys about my friends over at Etsy. If you haven't downloaded the app yet, please go ahead and go download it. It's on the App Store or the Google Play Store. Head to the upcoming streams section. Go ahead and friend request, do all of that good stuff. Join one of the streams, and if you want to argue with me or one of the other creators on there, you're more than welcome to. We've also got some great stuff coming up as far as animations and whatnot are concerned. You'll be able to throw tomatoes at my face if you don't like what I say about Cody Rhodes. And so if that's your thing, feel free to join as long as you got a cell phone with a camera and a microphone. You don't even have to turn the camera on if you want to talk a little bit of trash and join. But I cannot wait to see you all over there, and it's absolutely free to download. That's the best part. Happy Friday, everybody. Let's keep today's show rolling. And let's talk about what is next for one Cody Rhodes. I do think it's vacation. I think we're all pretty aware of that. Deservedly so. He's been working for like a lot of days in a row.
Is he going to Disney World, Jordy?
He might be going to Disney World. Ask Jordy.
He's advertised for SmackDown tonight, so he's not going just yet.
He's advertised for SmackDown
yeah,
tonight.
apparently so. Yeah, I didn't
dude.
realize that, but I was just reading up, and from what I can see, it says that Cody is advertised for SmackDown.
Jordy, what are you doing? You just spoiled the weekend preview segment.
Sorry, everyone.
Now you have to carry the rest of the show.
Well, I had to answer, bro. I'm an honest man. I had to answer the question. What's next for Cody? SmackDown. Moving on. No, yeah.
No, but seriously, what's actually next for Cody?
I think it's an interesting one.
SmackDown.
Well, SmackDown, obviously, and following the RKO that Mr. Cena received, who is also apparently, obviously, going to be on SmackDown tonight as one of his dates. Yeah, I think I'm interested. I'm interested and worried. The intrigue of a triple threat match in St. Louis in Randy's backyard between Cody Rhodes, Randy, and John Cena as the main event. That intrigues me. I'm interested to see that. However, what worries me is a potential of a tag match with John Cena and Travis Scott against Randy and Cody Rhodes. Because of that, I don't want to see that right now. Like, I've got my hopes up so much, and they've done that because of that RKO on Cena. I really, really want to see if it's not Cena versus Orton in a final match, and they throw Cody in. That's fine. I can get by with that. Because to be honest, I think it probably will add something to the match and perhaps make the match have a bit of a better pace and make it a little bit better, especially because of the storyline and the history that Cody and Randy have. But at the end of the day, if you're going for the belt, you're going for the belt. Randy's made it very clear that he wants another title run. So that does intrigue me. But I do think at some point soon, he's gonna have a little bit of a holiday. So one random thing. I hope whenever he does come back, he comes back with brown hair. I don't know why. I just think it's going to be Cody Rhodes has shifted.
You're just looking out for his scalp. That's fine.
My only caveat on the brown hair move is I do think it's kind of cool if he never does it again because of the connection to Brody Lee. That would be my only, and I didn't mean to get like dark there.
No, yeah.
But
fair.
right, like the last time he ever wrestled with the brown hair was the Brody match. To bring it back, it's got to be a pretty intense feud. Obviously, he'd gotten squashed by Brody. Remember, like that was one of the early great AEW moments. And so but I like the idea too, just a little change, right? Like kind of how he wore the tracksuit in the build to this match. Ditch the tie clip. He was like, forget it. Sweats it is.
I think whenever they have a rematch, Cody's not going to have a little Evil Knievel stunt show happen before his entrance. I think that's the kind of the story they're going to lean into. He needs to lock in again and get his eyes on the prize and stop being a bit of a showboating champ and take the helmet off and just walk down in a similar way that John did. Still get the woe out, still get the pyro, but just go back to that. Cody, I'm locked in and I'm coming and I'm going to win my title back. I still think that he's going to be the one to take it back off John. At the end of the road.
Absolutely. Now, one thing I will say for Cody here is it was an excellent run. But before we get to the weekend preview, I got to ask both of you guys, do we see Cody regain the title in this next calendar year? We already talked about what it's going to look like at 42 and whatnot. None of us mentioned Cody Rhodes in the main event, right? And he's 3 for 3 the last 3 years. It's not sounding like 4 in a row from our perspectives based on our predictions early in the show. Is he on the card at all? Or is this one of those times where, he takes some time off? Where do we see Cody over the next year? Just real quickly, each. You want to go first, Shad?
Obviously my predictions are my predictions. I don't truthfully know if they happen. It's more me putting in the universe that I want those to happen. But I think he gets the title back. I think he gets the title back this calendar year from Cena. I think that's kind of the play with Cena winning the title back and kind of being the heel. I think we let Cena have a little bit of a role, but Cody's coming back on the chase, and I think he does go against that. Won't happen at Mania, obviously, because this was Cena's last Mania, but I think he gets the title back. Now, what comes to Mania season, obviously, we'll have to see. It really depends on this is the thing. They had a big whiff between these two this past Mania, and that can't go, that can't be silenced at the end of the day. Whether you want to blame Cena, you got to blame all parties in the match within it. And I don't know how much of a dip that takes off, because I'm looking at it now. Seth is going to become a lot more interesting now that he's aligned with Paul Heyman. Roman is the most intriguing, popular guy on the roster. CM Punk is another person that is you can't put it against him that he's going to have a title match. So just the amount of roster spots available for these type of matches that I don't know. A lot can happen in a year, but I do think he will win his title back. It's just what happens after that, because I don't know if we can have another title reign like we just had with him prior to it,
100%. That makes a ton of sense. Yeah. And for me personally, Shad, I don't see him regaining the title until after next year's Mania. Okay. Right? I just don't see. I see him maybe potentially losing a match as a challenger to Cena in a rematch in one of the non-Big Four PLEs. But I do hear where, you never know. Cody Rhodes really did carry it for 3 straight years just now, and that's hard to take away. I'm kind of torn. Mr. In the Bank, Jordy, I know you're going to be a little more defensive of that main event than our good friend, Mr. Shad Talks Grabs. What do you think? Cody, does he regain the title, and what's it look like for the rest of the year for him?
I really do think that Cody will regain it, because I just feel like that's what the whole point of Cena turning on him was. I think that it is another passing of the torch, handing of the baton, however many ways you can say it. I think it is one of those moments between them two. And I think they do have more history than people kind of realize in terms of when Cody was younger, and obviously they traveled together. If you're on the road together, you spent an awful lot of time together. So these two are very close, and I think it'll mean a lot to John to be able to pass the torch to him, to break kayfabe down for a second, because WWE just do that all the time these days. How we get there, it's an intriguing one. I would think usually when we find ourselves in this situation, it's a next Mania job, isn't it? We play it out for the year, and then he wins it back at Mania, and he holds his hand up on the ramp. And we've seen it with Cena and the Rock, and we saw it with the Rock and Hogan, and it's not going to be a Mania. Cena's made that clear enough, so it's going to have to happen before then. I hope it happens before his last appearance, so we get a moment again where he runs out and he says thank you to Stu, and he says hi Stu, and we get the whole 9 yards, and he comes out and he says thank you because you never gave up on me, even when I turned my back on all of you, because of obviously what I'd portrayed over the many years before that had stuck with you, and you gave me you had the loyalty to me, you had the respect for me, and you never gave up on me, and I'll never be able to thank you enough for that kind of thing. And I hope we get that moment. I hope he doesn't go out as a bad guy, but you never know. And I really think if they're going to play that story where Cena kind of comes and says that, I think Cody is the perfect man to kind of bring him back.
Bring it out of him almost.
But the only other person who I'd like to send him on that right direction in that road is, let's bring Uncle Howdy into it. I think let's go back into the fun house and
I don't hold mind up the it mirror. In the least. Jordy. Mm-hmm. I don't mind that at all. But speaking of things I don't mind, let's get into the weekend preview. Because why in the wide world of sports was the TLC match that's booked for tonight not on the WrestleMania card? Someone's plane. Was there a flight delay? Did we forget about it? Whose idea was this?
They must
It's
have
going to be
forgot.
a great match. Bless SmackDown. But as a guy that went to both nights of Mania, I'd have loved to see this one last weekend. Just saying. But also, the man that someday, I swear to you, is just going to hit his head on the Jumbotron. He jumps so high into the sky. Montez Ford is going to steal the show in a tables and ladders and chairs match on this Friday night. I just can't. You can't build a better star to wrestle inside of a TLC match. I'm so excited about it. I do also believe that the Profits retain. What's your pick in this one, Jordy? And then we'll get into like a little more weekend preview and send y'all home.
I agree. This for this match, it should have been on the Mania card. Respect to El Grande Americano. Respect to the New Day and the War Raiders. Respect to all you guys, but we should have seen a TLC triple threat match on that card. That would have certainly woke me up, and I was just craving that kind of match. I feel like we didn't have that match where it is just forgivable chaos, when it's a multi-person match. So I'm so excited for that tonight. I go with the Profits, man. I do. I go with the Profits. I want them to retain. I'm not going to pick my favorite tag team's favorite tag team. So
Raise your fist.
So they'll be sad, but it is what it is. I think DIY and Motor City Machine Guns can spin off and continue a tag feud almost without the belt, and Profits can maybe get something going against a Pretty Deadly or whatever.
I dig it, and yeah, I'm in the same boat. The Profits have, I don't want to call it a must win, but it would just be thoroughly disappointing to me. We've seen these three teams sort of like run the gauntlet over and over. This should be the crowning moment. Yes, they're already basically champs, but like the crowning moment of this is the end. It's done after TLC. We're not extending this. Yeah. We don't need to just keep throwing the three teams in the dryer and seeing who doesn't shrink. That's like you know what I mean? That's how you ruin a t-shirt. At least in my eyes. I just recently learned to do laundry. But Shad, what are your thoughts on this one? Is there any shot the guys from Detroit or the do-it-yourself, the Bob the Builder guys, get this one done? Or are you going to make it 3-for-3 Profits?
Yeah, I got the Profits winning. I don't care about this match at all. I'm so tired of these mix and match of these three teams going against each other. DIY, I've been on the boat from the beginning. I think they're fine. They're a solid team. I think they serve a purpose. But it's just, I don't know, man. It's not clicking with me like it clicked in Black and Gold NXT. It's just kind of, whatever. Like they do what they do, and that is fine. Motor City Machine Guns, these guys, I understand, man. A lot of people jock their style throughout the beginning of time, but they, to me, have not fit like a glove in the WWE. They fit out. They seem out of place, right? And I agree with a lot what Jordy says. It's your favorite tag team's favorite tag team, but like these are WWE fans, man. Let's call a spade a spade. These people don't really know who they are, and they haven't really given us a reason to know who they are. And it's just DIY Motor City Machine Gun got the personality of a cardboard box in the WWE main roster. They're boring as hell. Street Profits for the win.
It has to be the Profits. Yeah, I think all three of us are on the same page on this. But it also, that's where I like, the one positive of this match being booked is it's organized chaos.
They need to really split the tag divisions up as soon as possible. Because like I think Raw could. This is the thing. I think Motor City Machine Guns could benefit feuding with like New Day, because that's kind of like a bit of a both teams are of that time of a era, kind of would be a bit of a dream match in a sense.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
People they haven't really, like, besides them shaking it up with DIY all these times, they kind of burnt all their dream matches on SmackDown. I'd rather
in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, and this is the issue. This storyline being built how it was built, you done burnt so many matchups between all these teams, and then the payoff is on an episode of SmackDown. So, like, it shows y'all really don't care. Like, I thought you cared about it because you didn't put it on the TV every damn week. But it's like, no, we got to pay it off on the TV this week too. It's just like, all right, man.
It was like, heck, you could have pre-showed this at Mania. Could you imagine, like, as the
Yeah.
kickoff,
Anything.
like anything, just book
Even
'em.
put it on Mania weekend. Don't
Yeah.
announce
Yeah,
it.
why
Mania
wasn't it on
weekend.
why wasn't
Like,
it on
If
last
you're gonna
Friday?
put it on the SmackDown, put it on Mania. Like, come on.
Like, dude,
It got
last
booed when
Friday-
they announced it, and that's not because we
Yeah.
don't want to see
The
it. But it's
only
like either
thing-
announce it, them fans all in there, they're not going to see it, bro.
Like the only thing that I could possibly think of is maybe like somebody on one of the teams was either like under the weather or like or injured or something. That's the only thing I can think of.
There is one big thing happening on SmackDown tonight.
Was that?
Alistair Black. The little promos had that date for that.
Yeah, 25th
yeah.
to the 4th. Yeah.
Alistair Black is
so-
back.
Yeah, so obviously we saw Rusev debut on Monday, and we get an Alistair probably tonight. That's going to be interesting to see what he does. I think I would have him probably. I don't think he's going to feud for a title out the gate. It's going to probably be a mild opponent that he's going to have to just destroy and build up some reps. I don't know who it is though. Probably I don't know what babyface is on there that could take a L.
Probably be Jimmy Uso or something.
I'm very curious if they
see
go
that.
with the old Alistair Black entrance or if they bring us something new.
Def Rebel it.
Gosh, don't even speak that into existence.
Why
Why would you even say that?
Oh, and before we go though, salute to TNA Rebellion this weekend
yes.
as well. There's some fire matches on that card. That X Division match is kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Moose, Navarro, Slater, Cardona, and Vikingo. But if you don't mind, I must say, this will be the weekend. This will be the week. Tuesday was not a good day for me because the best tag team in the entire world was robbed. Absolutely robbed against Liv and Raquel. Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley will be the first NXT superstars to have a TNA title because they are the reason this show has sold as many tickets. They are the reason why people will be buying the pay-per-view. They are the reason why we do this show on a weekly basis. They are the reason why your water bills are paid. All of that. Like they make the world go around. So they will be forever champs.
I love it. I love it. But I will say with that is probably going to bring us to the end of the show, my friends. Thank you, everybody that tuned in. Happy Friday from all of us here at WR. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. That's, of course, noon Pacific, 3 o'clock over on the East Coast, 8 o'clock in the UK, and 9 a.m. for my friends in Hawaii. On behalf of me, Clark, Shad, Mr. in the Bank himself, Jordy, and all of us at Wrestling Republic, have an excellent weekend. Hope you enjoyed all the Mania festivities last week. Hope you enjoyed the wrestling this week. There's some good stuff, and we will talk to you soon.